Our awakened awareness, vast as infinite space, has never found itself holed up in anything. So there's nothing whatsoever that is occurring or happening within the non-dual expanse. To say that something occurs or happens within the non-dual expanse immediately takes a teaching of non-duality and makes it into a teaching of duality. So we're not going to start with that premise. We're not going to start with a dualistic premise and try to get to a non-dual premise. Rather, we're going to start with the non-dual premise of what a human being is. If we want to know what we are, then we have to start with what we are rather than see it as a goal. When it comes to our awareness that is vast as infinite space, it's not something that we need to achieve as a destination. It isn't something we need to effort for or get to or cause in some way. What is already accomplished cannot be caused. So even if it appears that there is a cause, that was not a cause. It already is. The cause is something that could be considered circumstantial. It exists only because of its label as a cause. But it has never affected anything because what always is already accomplished. And that vast expanse of infinite awareness is inclusive of everything. So everything that appears within it is only the dynamic energy of it and nothing else. There's nothing else that exists elsewhere other than this non-dual expanse, and any of the dynamic energy of that non-dual expanse never strays from it. So it's impossible that any of the dynamic energy of awakened awareness could ever be anything else. It never goes outside the borderlands, the non-existing borderlands of awakened awareness into another realm called duality. And even though everything that can be labeled, including duality, is included and contained within awakened awareness has never been confined within dualistic perception. So if we take ourselves to be someone who is confined within dualistic perception, it's like seeing a mirage and taking ourselves to be confined within the mirage. That would be impossible. It would be impossible for us to even get into a mirage. If we saw a mirage and we walked into it, by the time we got into it, it would disappear. So this is the case with all of our perceptions. Any perception we may have, whether it's positive, negative, or neutral, no matter what the perception is, it is fundamentally pure, primordially pure. It is empty of any origin other than its essence as awakened awareness, and it is wholly positive as it has only ever existed as awakened awareness. So these three, the emptiness or the basic space, that would be another way to talk about it. The basic space of each perception is aware. It is naturally present, and in its natural presence, it is entirely pure, and it is responsive. Its responsiveness is the responsiveness of natural freedom. Every single perception already is free, thus it is wholly positive. So another way we could look at this in terms of our own human bodies and what goes on within them is any thought, emotion, or sensation we have, if we approach it and we say that it is whatever its label is, anger, sadness, happiness, joy, elation, grief, despair, bewilderment, hope, whatever it is, if we label something as its description, as its dictionary definition, all we will ever see is that label. That's all we'll know about it. But if we, like walking into the mirage, if we walk a little further, we will realize that there's nothing there, just like in a mirage. So in the essence of every perception, in the direct encounter with it, if we just rest naturally, allow the ease of our awakened awareness, then we know that perception as it is. We know that perception not only as its dictionary definition, but as its ultimate meaning, which is awakened awareness. So in that sense, each one of our perceptions is like a little infant, like a tiny infant. Every single infant is, first of all, empty of any concepts. So no infant has any concepts. It doesn't have any points of view. It doesn't have any perceptions that it's attached to, nor does it have any perceptions that it considers an impediment. And an infant is so pure, so pure. We look at infants and we think purity. This is total purity. There's nothing else going on there but the pure essence of what a human being is. That's what we see in an infant. And when we look at an infant, we don't see anything negative about it. Oh, it's just the most wholly positive little creature. You know, this brand new human life, so entirely precious in every way. Well, this is the case with every one of our perceptions. Every one of our perceptions is like a precious infant. Whether it's a thought, whether it's an emotion, or whether it's a sensation of our bodies. But many of us have learned to fear our thoughts and our emotions and our sensations, and to categorize them into those that are negative, neutral, and positive. And when we do that, we lose the freshness and the joy of the possibility of every single perception. When we do that, we force ourselves into being a subject who is objectifying everything going on in the body. In other words, the thoughts, emotions, and sensations, all our perceptions. We objectify all those. We decide that a lot of them are good and some of them are neutral. In fact, the large percentage are neutral. And then there's some that are negative. And we spend a lot of our lifetime working on the ones that are negative and trying to get them out of the barrel of the negative and into the barrel of the positive, or at least into the barrel of the neutral. But we want that barrel of the negative to be empty. And we're bound and determined to do that. So this is a convention. This is a convention of human existence. It's only a convention. It's a fiction elaborated over time about who a human being is. But throughout all of human history, humankind has evolved. And not only have we evolved in our physiology, but we have evolved in our consciousness as well. So our capacity to understand who we are as humankind has never been greater than it is now. In fact, we have all kinds of inventions now that our reality of being has not caught up with. We've made things that we just don't know what to do with them. Now, you know, we've made all this technology that is absolutely incredible. Communications technology that links everyone in the world. Transportation technology that links everyone in the world. We're all linked all over the world. Even the most remote people are linked up in some way. I have a friend who lives on a remote island in Fiji, and every day he telecasts all these things all over the world from his remote island in Fiji. You know, so no one is out of the loop anymore. Anyone who wants to be in the loop can be in the loop. And yet, though we have the capacity, this immense capacity of mind to invent all these things, we haven't brought all these inventions together in a way that can really serve humankind. We're on the brink of doing that, but we cannot do that as long as we take ourselves to be subjects who are constantly looking at objects and somehow trying to arrange them and control them. Because that entire lifestyle occurs within cause and effect. It occurs within the realm of causality. It occurs within time and space. And many of these technologies that we're inventing today, they didn't come out of time and space. They didn't come out of time and space. They came out of a stroke of brilliance of exalted mind. They didn't come out of the realm of cause and effect. And this propensity and capacity of human beings to invent is accelerating more than it ever has in human history. So that 100 years from now, we will know 500 times more than what we know now. Isn't that incredible? That's totally incredible. And we know 50 times more than we did 15 years ago. So, this is amazing. We have at our fingertips all of this technology that we've invented that unites us everywhere, but we don't yet have the capacity as human beings to come together in a peaceful way to use all of this to some good end. We're still lost in a realm of cause and effect solutions to many of the problems of the world. We've mastered technology, internet technology, communication technology, transportation technology, but we have not mastered our technology of peacemaking. We have not mastered that at all. We're not even near mastery of that, because all of our efforts of peacemaking, of environmental justice, of social justice, all of those are still within the realm of cause and effect, within the realm of time and space. They haven't reached the genius of some of the other technologies we have invented that have come out of pure space. The stroke of brilliance of people who are willing to move beyond anything they've ever known and take a risk for coming up with something new. This is very prevalent today. At no time in human history has it been more prevalent. And this opening that we see into exalted mind, into exalted awareness is very, very important, and it applies to every field of human life. The same kind of strength that is being drawn upon for brilliant inventions is the reality of every human being 24/7. So rather than it just being some kind of breakthrough from the beyond, it's the reality of what we are in every moment. So in this sense, every single one of our perceptions is our opportunity for invention. We can either invent that perception as something that is bound by cause and effect in time and space and continue to take ourselves to be a subject living in a world of objects, living in cause and effect, living in time and space, or we can use our tremendous capacity for invention that I just referred to totally break through the solidity of that perception, to cut through it, to rather than seeing it only through cause and effect, the dynamics of time and space, a worldview or paradigm that's entirely limited by the subject-object duality, we persist in our invention of the perception until we see that it's not only its description, but that its essence is only awakened awareness. And its description is only the dynamic energy of that awakened awareness. Now, this invention making and invention giving process is entirely up to us. So, there's no one who can give it to us. Someone can directly introduce it to us, which is what this situation is about. This circumstance right here. It's the direct introduction to what we already are. It's not something that's going to exist down the line or lifetimes from now. It's already accomplished, already occurring, and already within the capacity of everyone right here. But we must be the ones who have the direct encounter with each perception. And in that direct encounter, realize that that perception is our own awakened awareness. And how do we realize that? A perception comes up, and rather than persisting in a story or elaboration about it, we just allow the ease of our being. We allow awareness. The awareness that is primary or most prevalent or constant in every perception. We allow that, and in allowing that, we realize a vivid wakefulness that is the essence of that perception. So the essence of every perception, no matter what it is this vivid wakefulness that is aware of the direct encounter with the perception. See, there would be no perception without the awareness. So that's its evidence to all of us scientific materialists here. That's its evidence that it is awareness. The perception would not be without the awareness. So you see, our awareness, our already awakened awareness, is the root of everything. If we persist in living within a dictionary, hopping around for our entire life from one word to another, trying to create meaning out of all the words in the dictionary, then that's all we'll see. We'll see all the words in the dictionary. When we die, those will be our companions. All the words in the dictionary will be our companions. I don't want that. That sounds like a humdrum death to me and kind of scary. I don't want a bunch of words as my companions. Because, when we go with us, we can't take anything. Did you know that? We can't take the clothes we're wearing or the kind of hairdo we've decided to have. We can't take any of our best ideas about living life. We can't take our bank account or any money, how great or small we might have. None of our family members can go with us, so none of these people can go along. If we have a teacher or guru, they're not going to be coming with us. They're probably not going to even be there when we die. So, what else? Well, we're not going to be able to take any good things to eat, so we're not going to be able to count on that anymore. We're not going to have a bag of cookies we can take along when we die, or anything else that may have comforted us when we're alive. And, so all that we have when we die is awareness. That's what we take with us. Our last perception is this perception of the body. That's the last one that goes. And even though when we have trained ourselves to live as awakened awareness during our lifetime, that perception of the body, it doesn't seem so tight. You see, if we've never known that the perception of the body is just a fleeting appearance that leaves no trace, like the flight path of a bird in the sky, then when we die, we're going to think the body really is something important to us and that we're going to have to cling to it with everything we've got. We're just going to have to hang on as much as we can in order to not let it go, because what's beyond that? The unfamiliar. But you see, in each one of these perceptions that is our own invention, we have the opportunity to realize the relief in that will then be present with us at our death. And if we don't introduce ourselves to this now and more allow the evidence of that to be obvious in our life, when we reach our death, then it just won't be there. It's unlikely that it will be available to us. It might be, but those are pretty long odds to say it might be.